You all set? Hello. I was hoping I would go early so I could enjoy the rest, but here I am. All right, so I just got back from a 2-week road trip with my younger sister. The last 2 days we went camping. And we are pretty outdoorsy, I would say, but definitely not pro campers. I actually went camping really for my first time this fall, so I'm going to tell you a few tales of the camping experiences I've had since then. So I really enjoy camping the 5 times now that I've done it, and I would say I'm honestly decent at it if someone can be good at camping. I would say I'm decent and enjoy practically all of it except for the actual sleeping part. So I like looking online through the National Forest websites, finding the actual campsites. I like getting there, knowing I have a place to sleep, setting everything up. I like making the food and the campfire and stuff like that. But then when it actually gets to sleeping, I've really failed in those parts. So the first time was this fall in October, and we were going across the country starting in Seattle, so pretty far north. I wasn't really realizing when I was planning how cold it would be. So the first night I could not sleep because it was actually about freezing. I learned how important it was to tuck in your shirt when you slept. That made a huge difference. So I'm going into the second night thinking I am so smart, I know I'm going to wear a hat tonight, I'm going to tuck in my shirt and everything, and we get to the next campsite and there's this little paper sign that says bear frequented area. And it's dated from 3 months ago, but that's completely irrelevant to me. I'm like, oh no, I can't sleep that entire night because I am sure a bear is going to eat me. So here I am driving the next day, not having slept the last 2 nights, get to the third spot, and now it's not a paper sign. It is a legit sign that has been there for years. Grizzly bear, inhabited area. I was like, I can't. We go to a convenience store and I buy some NyQuil. That night I actually sleep. So that's the end of my fall camping experience. We go this summer. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to have as many problems with the cold. It's going to be really hot. We were down in the south, so I shouldn't have these problems with the bears. We get to the first place, and there's a sign about alligators. And I was like, okay, that is a bit frightening, but I wasn't really as scared of alligators. I mean, we're by the swamps. We're in Louisiana, but I was like, I'm not going to see an alligator. Within about 10 minutes of being there, my sister and I did see an alligator. However, by the time that night, I really wasn't scared of the alligators. I think it was a huge mistake to watch the Ted Bundy videos about 6 months ago at this point. But honestly, this trip, I was just terrified of people. I was sure that someone was going to come and kill us. In the middle of our first night, a pine cone likely dropped from a tree and made 2 hits on the ground. Lucy and I both stood up in our tent and ended up sleeping in the car. We were sure that someone had just ran across the gravel path by us. So the second night, we're going in and we're like, you're pathetic. We stink at this. We have to sleep in the tent this night. I'm reading a book about this woman who's hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, and she's talking about how she had to be brave and strong. You can't be fearful if she's going into this alone. I was like, yes, this is me. I have to be brave tonight. I can do this. So that night, something somewhat comforting to me at first happened. As we were kind of making the campfire, it was getting kind of dark. A park ranger drove up next to us, tinted windows, a little bit weird, but came out and, kind of just had this conversation with us. Looking back on it, as I was telling this to my parents, I was like, if he would have killed us, it wouldn't have been all that surprising. But looking back, it must have just been he was a bit socially awkward because the encounter kind of went like this. He walked out and he was kind of just like, hey. And we were like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, so how long are you guys here, just tonight? And we're like, yep, just tonight, woo-hoo-hoo. And then he's like, just you two? And we're like, yeah, just us. Yeah. Why did we say that? Obviously, there should have been our huge brother was in the bathroom, but no. And so he leaves, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of comforting. Someone's watching us. My little sister Lucy is like, except for if he's the one who kills us. And she's like, but I was still brave, going into the night. So we're sitting in our tent. I'm reading my book with my headlamp. Lucy is watching something on her phone. And then we kind of hear some things start spackling on the top. So I'm like, oh no, I didn't know it was going to rain. We had checked the weather. It wasn't supposed to. And then the wind starts up, which was honestly really nice at first because it was so hot. And then we see thunder and lightning, and we're like, we didn't put the rain tarp on because, it makes it so much hotter, and it wasn't supposed to rain. So we're sitting there, do we have to do this? And we eventually decide, this is impractical, it's gonna rain on us, we really should go and put the rain tarp on. So we go outside, and I have my headlamp out, and Lucy's holding her phone, And we start setting it up, and like there's a decent amount of bugs coming towards my headlamp, and I'm like, yeah, like obviously it's like a lamp here, and then I swear to you, it is like out of a movie. At first it was few, but then it was like the whole swarm came and enveloped my head. Lucy sitting there at the same time, her arm is enveloped with bugs, so we have to throw our lamps, her phone to the ground, and we're just sitting there like, oh my gosh, this is so gross. Like an alternative universe, I should have like run to the car and screaming and slept in the car again. But I kind of just like went into this militant mode. I was like, all right, Lucy, like grab this, we have to do this. And then I told her to like put her phone one place. I turned off my headlamp. I'm like, open this tiniest slit in the tent. I'm like, dive in. And then she gets in there. I turn off my headlamp. I tell her like, shine your light this way so that I can dive in now. And then we're sitting in there finally. I'm like, just staring at each other like, what just happened? Definitely wide awake. There's a few more bugs in the tent, and so we killed those. But moral of the story is we're both staring at each other like, what the heck? But luckily, I've never had a wake-up call due to a bear or due to an alligator or due to a person trying to kill us. Just about every gnat that existed in Mississippi. Thank you.